Hi everyone. Today I'll be drawing Caterpie and its evolutions, starting with Caterpie. Let's get started. So to begin with, I start with some circles to mark out, the face, and then to mark out the body, I try to measure out the tail, but I was too close to the edge, so I had to move them over a little bit. And there are two things that I had wished I had gone back and fixed, but I didn't. And that would be the first segment of the underbelly. I feel like I made it way too small and I never went back and corrected that. And the second one is the head kind of overlaps with the first segment on the back, which I also didn't go back and do. And it kind of makes it look funny in the end, I feel like, because it would have looked a lot better if I had changed both of those things. And then I start to block in the colors, and try to leave room for where the shading's supposed to go. But I feel like I could have used a different method just by filling it in regularly and then coming back with the next color and then putting the shading on top of the base color, which would have probably saved me a bit of time on doing this. You just saw me go back to the line art layer and fix the line that I forgot to draw in where the four segments meet near the face. And then I do go back and add the shading on for the yellow parts. And then I follow the same method with the greens. Overall, I feel like Caterpie is very easy to do. I just made a few mistakes that were easy to fix and it would have made it look a little bit better. But either way, onward to Metapod. So I start by trying to block out kind of a weird banana shape and then go back in and try to add more details on top of it. And then I did have a little bit of trouble trying to map out all the segments because they were just not aligning properly for me. And then I used the same method I used for Caterpie to try to block in the colors. Adding in a line I forgot, and then continuing with the lighter shade. And then for shading in the back segment parts, I feel like I just didn't do it as well as in the reference. I feel like my shapes weren't as 3D. But either way, that is metapod done. On to butterfree. I start with a circle and a tube shape for the body, and then I go in and add all the details like the eyes, the hands, and the feet. And I do this before I do the wings because I wanted to map out where the wings would go using the features as like markers as where the wings needed to go and the pattern on the wings where it needed to stop and start. I feel like doing the pattern on the wing was kind of challenging. I feel like mine weren't, I guess, leaning in the way I wanted them to. I don't know how to describe it. They didn't flow as well as the references. I do fill in the blacks on the line art layer. And then I do go in and I color, similar to how I did with Metapod and Caterpie. I use the same method of blocking out sections and then filling them in. And that is butterfree done. Thank you so much for watching. Please like and subscribe.